Is it recording?
Yeah, I grew up in Mattapan, Massachusetts. I mean, me and my brother and I, we just wanted to go to the NBA. Two immigrant parents from Haiti, and just wanted to be successful. But nothing could prepare me for that day when that day came, August 31st, 1997. One morning I had a basketball game that day, and my brother came to come pick me up. And he was like, "Ray, get up, we got a basketball game." I felt sick, like I was drenched with sweat. I got up out of bed, I rushed into the shower and let the water drain for a little bit to get a little hot. And as soon as I jumped into the shower, bang, the water hit my skin and it felt like needles. And from there I jumped out the shower, grabbed my towel, and ran into my mom's room holding my head, and my head was just banging. Boom, 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 boom. And of course my mom's frantic. We gotta get right to the hospital, And then from there, everything just seemed like it was going in slow motion. They take me to the back room, asked me a few questions. What year is it? He asked me who's the president? I said, Michael Jordan. Then he took a pen and he said, "Do you see this pen?" I said, "Yes." Scraped my foot. He's like, "Did you feel that?" And I said, "No." He said, "I'll be right back." And the nurse comes in. She's with some Tylenol and a warm blanket. I take a sip of the Tylenol. Boom, I fall into a coma. And then of course later on they say he contracted spinal meningitis. He might not be able to see. He might be blind. He might be mentally impaired. He might be deaf. He's definitely paralyzed. We don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens. And by the grace of God, I wake up out of that coma and I am just paralyzed. And I realize the dreams that I had are over. So coming home, brand new in a wheelchair, vulnerable, looking at that ramp and about to be pushed up the ramp, not realizing for that split second I used to walk up the stairs. That ramp was a journey. When you walking, you're just walking. You're not thinking about nothing. But now you got a ramp. It's a journey. It's a process to get to point A to point B. And you gotta go up. So you gotta push. You gotta work just to get in the house. And before I used to walk in the house and didn't think nothing of it. And now I'm saying to myself, I gotta do this for the rest of my life. So when you think about being in a wheelchair at 14 years old, everything you do is work. I could not articulate that, but that's something I felt to my soul. And one thing I learned was do things with a smile, do things with pride, and I learned service. And one thing in life, we're all here to serve each other and love each other. Me walking, learning that process, and then becoming paralyzed, it became a lot harder to serve. So how do I expect to serve in a wheelchair or become an entrepreneur? And being looked at as somebody, what value are you gonna bring to the world? You're in a wheelchair, you're paralyzed. But my mind is not paralyzed, so therefore I can make it happen. I mean, as a young kid and a basketball star, all the girls loved me because I was dedicated, I was committed, and I didn't pay them no mind, and girls love that. You get paralyzed, you want to hold on to that. But of course, they didn't stay. Woman has always been important because I always wanted a family. My motive came from a place of insecurity in the beginning, not really knowing how to approach women, not knowing how to speak to women, and not knowing my agenda. So it challenged me. It challenged me to get to know a woman on a deeper level, on a spiritual level, on a mind level, versus just on a physical level. But being the person that I am, and the resilience and the perseverance that I always had in me, the same practice that I put in when I was preparing for the MBA, is I had that same spirit. So that spirit didn't go nowhere. What next? I gotta get my education. So I started to play wheelchair basketball and then put the time in wheelchair basketball. Obviously it's not the NBA, but I got a wheelchair basketball scholarship. I played basketball for Oklahoma State. I took advantage of every opportunity that was given to me. Traveled across the country playing basketball. Met a lot of great people that believed in my dreams. And from there, everybody saw me as an inspiration. But what did that really mean? Well, for me, it meant I'm paralyzed in a wheelchair. I'm not happy about that, but that's my life. That's my responsibility. I continue to speak to people, tell them my story, tell them my trials and tribulations, tell them my successes, graduating from Oklahoma State, winning countless awards, and never giving up. Yeah, it's hard. Life is real. My life is real. There's many a times I felt like giving up. And I'm happy that I felt like giving up, because then I knew that I was actually doing something. I mean, I'm someone that's just really goal-oriented, vision-oriented. If I do something, it's gonna be done with excellence. I was always a person that just believed. I was just always a person of faith. And so becoming in a wheelchair made things harder. But it just made me better. I remember a time when I was by the elevator and a girl passed by and she's like, "Ray, you look really nice." And she was smiling, like, thank you, thank you. And she said to me, "I just want a one-night stand." And I laughed. I said, "Well, you're gonna have to take the elevator with me. We going up." And then we both laughed. But I mean, I could go on, but you're gonna have to get the book for that. I'm not gonna go too deep. But there's a lot of moments, a lot of stories of me walking and me not walking. And you can see the growth in me as a person and my flaws and the beauty of that process. There's men that are actually standing up on their 2 feet, functioning, and are paralyzed, whether spiritually, emotionally, or mentally. Me, I could be physically paralyzed, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally, I'm on a whole nother level that most can't comprehend, and that's my duty. And that's my purpose in life, is to enlighten others so they're not paralyzed, so they can see like there's more to life than just your physical, materialistic things that come with it. And to me, value is something that is intangible. It's not something that you can touch. It's not something you can see, but it's something that you can feel. And when you feel it, you know it. You just know. There's no questioning it. There's no doubting in it. You just know that this is something that I needed. And when I'm able to give people what they need, my mission is complete on this world.